vivo, Gibor presenta El Guicador contra El Nerdo Loco, The Internacional Fenómeno. Ataca the show!
This is the Attack of the Show. We host it sometimes we're here. Hey, everybody, welcome to Attack of the Show. TV's only source for all the stuff you care about.
He's back.
I missed them.
I know.
I didn't miss that guy, though.
Well, we've been off shooting stuff just for you guys, so stop
They're going to see that in a bit. I'm Kevin Pereira.
I'm Olivia Munn.
Yes, we're here. We're back.
And
Stop crying about it.
We're live in the G4 Studios in Los Angeles. Start it up.
On the show today, it's periodicals to the rescue when we show you magazine self-defense on Around the Net. I didn't know a copy of highlights could kill you, but it can. Then we've got a crazy spy cam on Gadget prawn. This motion-detecting camera uses Wi-Fi to instantly upload images to your iPhone, to the YouTubes, and that way you can see your girlfriend cheating on you in real time. Rachel, you whore!
What happened?
I don't care if he had a bishop's dilemma. Now I have a dilemma. What to do about you?
So Rachel cheated on you, but what happened to Tina and Stacy?
Come on, we had an agreement. I mean, it's... Hey, girls.
We're going to move on. We're going to be here till Wednesday. You guys eat that up. It's going to be goodness. Goodness. Then we're off again. Then we're going to move on to media giant Viacom. They secretly uploaded some shows to YouTube while they publicly criticize the file-sharing site for hosting stolen clips. We're going to talk about that in a loop. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin talks to us about his new movie, Damage, and WrestleMania 26. Hopefully, chairs will get smashed over heads, and someone will get thrown out of the ring.
That's crazy.
Exactly what happened.
That is crazy. Well, anything can happen in a wrestling match. I mean, it's just athleticism at its finest. You never really know what's going to happen. Any given Sunday or Monday. Is it on Monday? Monday and Tuesdays? Any given Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday if it's... Is it Raw on Wednesday? No, it's Raw on Monday.
Time now to run the top 5 things in the web. We're going around the net.
When do they just...
Going around the net.
And at number 5, today we have a martial artist on a mission.
Now, we've all seen karate guys break bricks before.
But Mr. Narvlare demonstrated that most karate guys are underachieving wussies. Here's his 2008 attempt to get block breaking into the Guinness Book of World Records. Fisting machine. Boom, 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 taking them down. One sorority at a time.
What did the bricks ever do to deserve that?
That is true. Poor old bricks. They're just minding their business.
I know.
Holding up houses.
Holding up houses.
Oh, and then some douche in a gi has to come along and smash them all up. I take it back. I am not excited for him.
Not excited. Hey, everyone at home. Join us in the struggle against brick genocide. Because good bricks shouldn't die at the hands of a karate guy. They should be thrown at Philadelphia sporting events. You know, when we have a platform, I want to use it for good.
You really do. You just elicit change.
Look, this is a gift that I've been given. I want to share it.
You just gave them a gift. You just wrapped your words of wisdom and said, here you go, kids.
I know.
Gnaw on that for a little while.
No, I know. I just said that.
Okay, all right. Today's number 4 is a clip from the TV show Philippines Got Talent.
Yeah. You've seen the prison videos.
Was that right?
Philippines Got Talent.
Yeah.
Well, the contestants, the contest's biggest showstopper was a gentleman woman.
A gentleman.
A gentleman.
A gentleman woman.
A gentleman woman. He's got them both. Basically, very, very impressive skill.
Yeah.
Tranny horse whisperer for the win.
Yes! She's the Lady Gaga of livestock. Truly. I don't know how you follow that up, though.
How do you follow that up? You get out there and you sing, memories? Really
do you find another animal, or do you just try to inject horse noises into your favorite, NSYNC songs? I don't know what she does next, but can we follow up on her?
Yeah.
Her?
Him? Well, I don't know. She? Him? Sure? Shim?
Sure.
Shim. Shim.
Follow up on Shim.
It's a shim. In at number 3, French prankster Remy Gaillard. Once again, punks Parisians.
Yes, and this time he has a floral theme.
Plastique.
That was not smart. How do you say "don't tase me, bro" in French? How do you?
I believe it's non taisez moi mon frère.
No.
What?
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
But I asked for it in French. Here, go ahead and go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got to do this right if you're going to do it. And here you go. Hold on, too. Okay. So how do you say "don't tase me, bro" in French? I don't know. Does anybody know?
Oh, mon taisez moi mon frère. What the? That was.
Hold on. Let me see that. I think I know what's wrong here. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Now you're ready. Now try.
Okay. Non taisez mon frère.
Yeah, that was it. Absolutely. Yeah. 3 weeks of Rosetta Stone, ladies and gentlemen. 3 weeks. They don't tell you.
Like a bite?
They don't tell you how to put on the mustache. They show you a picture of the mustache. That's what's so different. It's
Have
immersive.
a bite of my mustache baguette. You feel French?
That was quality television. Coming in at number 2 is a clip from Kurakurasu. The art of improvised weaponry as demonstrated by Sensei Ronald Duncan. Sensei Ronald, anybody? You can find this clip at wayofthewinds.com.
Yeah, he teaches us that if you want a weapon to beat the crap out of someone, you don't need to look any further than the top of your toilet.
The rolled-up magazines utilize is what we term the blunt edge. Can be used for striking. Get up. You want this chair? Yeah, I want the chair. Well, I didn't see you here before. I'm not going to get up. I'm tired. No, get away from me. Stop it! Take your chair. Have your chair. No, never do that again.
Vicious.
I mean, not only is he a master of the martial arts, but he's also the leader of his local improv troupe, Crazy Bananas.
Yeah. The thing about Crazy Bananas, they make you laugh, but they can also kill a man using their theater program. Where's the baguette?
Still in, balls get tickled and our number 1 around the neck.
Ah, that's right. Every dog gets his day in just a moment.
Every dog gets his day.
He gets his day. Your day is getting tickled. Yeah. And at number 1 today, we have a clip from the recent 2010 Crufts Dog Show.
Apparently there's a new technique being used by trainers to get bulldogs to strike just the right pose for judging.
And we're pretty sure there ought to be a law against it.
actually pretty sure that they use that same trick to get the Miss America contestants to stand and smile.
You're probably right.
To get your daily viral fix and check out all the viral videos we have to offer. Kevin, what are you doing?
No, I'm just listening to your...
Oh, come on! Shoot! Get out of here! Why are you doing that? And how long has that guy been standing there? How long? How long were you doing that?
Just long enough.
For more, go to g4g.com/aroundthenet. Good boy.
Rough. If you're wondering where Olivia and I have been the last week, we actually have some answers. You said at the top of the show we've been doing some stuff, and we have.
We were shooting a very special video for Comic-Con, and while we can't reveal the whole thing, we can at least show you a little behind-the-scenes footage.
And action!
I'm Ice and Kevin's Fire, and we're two superheroes battling each other out.
I'm apparently a huge flamer.
Feels pretty awesome being a badass superhero.
Yeah. Oh, man. Let me tell you about these harnesses here. Balls in the throat. Yep. Yeah. We're good. How's it going? Balls in the throat. Those harnesses were not comfortable at all.
They
That's all I'm
were
saying.
miserable. They bruised me.
Yeah. I've got strips of bruise. They're just not. They're like racing stripes on my taint. They last.
Okay.
Overshare? Really? I thought we were in the nest with the tree.
I could overshare right now.
Please do.
I'm censoring
You're
myself.
saving it? All right.
It's a new year.
I like how we're like, we can show you something, but we can't tell you too much. Well, I'm fire, she's ice, we're battling.
We're superheroes.
Let me tell you the whole thing that we're doing for Comic-Con. No, you saw, that was some rough footage. Imagine CG everywhere. Lots of pyramids and 3D orbs and reflecting water.
Or no CG, and we're just in a green screen.
Mm-hmm. Meta.
It's not as cool as
Meta. We're going to key in all the greens.
All right, now it's time to play Hot or Not with new electronics.
I guess it's time for Gadget Prawn.
But it did show everything.
Yeah.
It did.
You're welcome.
Oh, hey, everyone.
Hey, forget baby cams and nanny cams.
We've got a spy cam that makes a teddy bear with a hidden lens look like child's play.
The mother of all webcams has arrived, and it does all the spying and social networking for you. It's the Mole. Connected via Wi-Fi, this IP camera can be viewed online or on your iPhone, uploads directly to YouTube, and when it detects motion, will email or tweet an alert. You can even store videos on the Mole's site or an SD card, so start your own reality show for $225.
Okay, now sometimes these kind of products can get a little clunky when you're first setting them up.
And you should not wear them as a hat, as our footage there might have provided. It's not fashion forward.
Well, okay, so this one is actually pretty easy to set up. You plug in the Ethernet first, because apparently they get really angry if you do the other one. I did that during the rehearsal, and they did not like that. Then you do the power
Did the
cord.
representatives come in from the roof and punch you in the mouth, or what, did you get an angry email?
Dave got mad.
Oh.
And I did that, and he was like, no, they like the other way.
Dave will strike a woman.
So anyways, Ethernet then, it's starting up. Then you log in to their site, you register your camera, and then you should be up and running in just like 5 minutes. Wi-Fi setup is a little more involved. But what do you think? How easy is it to view the camera through your browser application?
It's okay. Doing things like adjusting the camera is easy, but the more you use the app, the more you start to hate it. The most text is too small. It kind of becomes confusing when you start changing settings around. And it doesn't work on any browser like they claim. We tested this on several different computers, and it didn't always run. So, I mean, granted, if you're running sort of the latest and greatest, the most standard stuff, you'll be okay, but there are some configurations it has problems with. It does work on the iPhone, but as you can see there, it can become a painfully slow slideshow. So you'll watch people stealing stuff from your house at 1 frame a minute.
Now, when we first saw how many features this camera had, it did have the remote web control, motion detection, upload to YouTube. It had a lot of stuff. The first thing that came to mind is that we were worried because a lot of times these kind of electronics, they cram so much into it, they spread themselves too thin, and then it doesn't work the way
Jack
you
of
want
all
it to.
trades, master of none, sort of thing.
Oh, you've been waiting to use that phrase for a while?
I use it all the time. Yeah.
It's a good phrase.
Even out of context. Hey, when in Rome. Exactly. How did it do, though? Not bad, actually, despite all those features. You can rotate the camera and move it 720 degrees horizontally.
270 degrees.
What was that?
You said 720. It's 270.
Well, if it were 720, it could spin around several times, and then I'd be impressed. It would look possessed.
But it's only at 270.
Well, only at 270, I might have to change the rating by the end of this thing. You get 125 degrees vertically from your browser, which is cool as well. You can specify hotspots on the screen that will detect motion, so you can say, look for motion here and here, but not so much here, in case you have like pets running around in your house, perhaps. If it detects motion, it'll automatically send email alerts, upload videos to YouTube. It'll even tweet that it uploaded a video as well. So you can do all that. You can save videos and pictures to an SD card or to your computer, but not to the cloud. Other than the fact that it uploads a video to YouTube, I would like some of these security cameras can record footage and put it on a server for you. That way, when the robbers steal your computer, you can still download the video of that happening later from another server. Weirdly,
nice.
some features would only work some of the time. And at one point, we were able to save files to our computer. Now we can't. Apparently decided we don't want to do that anymore. So it took that feature away.
Okay, now, typically with spy cameras, they're really lacking in the quality. So did the mole suffer from that too?
No, surprisingly not, actually. Even though it might stutter while real-time streaming, it does record up to 640 by 480 resolution at 30 frames a second just fine. There's a night vision mode. There's a white balance adjustment. There's other manual controls as well. So you can really get a good thing. I wish it had, instead of just motion detection to capture that someone's in the frame, I wish it automatically followed the subject in the frame. Because I've seen webcams with software that do that. I'm sure that they could do that. It's probably just a matter of a software upgrade, but I'd like it to track the action that's going on in the room.
Okay, so it's $225.
Yes.
What are we giving it?
3 out of 5. Throw it on it. We really like all of its functionality, the quality, despite some strange interface hangups on the web. Unfortunately, not everything works all of the time, so that's why we're giving it a 3 out of 5.
Okay, well, that's it for today's Gadgetpron. But if you have a gadget you'd like to see us rate, email us at gadgetpron@g4tv.com.
Yes.
I have to cough.
I didn't know where to hold on the lady. Still ahead, did Viacom covertly upload its own clips to YouTube? Did they?
Did they?
I asked you. We'll talk about it.
Good day.
Good day, sir. We're going to talk about the new file sharing scandal that's making headlines in the Louvre.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin stops by to smash some chairs. Just a minute.
Wrong love tonight. But we'll come again.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Being here, clapping in the show.
Good to see you.
The prompters and the lights.
Hey, everyone. Nice to see you guys, too.
We're live.
We're going to play CNN. Here's the news.
What? Wyclef Jean hologram. Whoop. It's a presidential election, guys. Yes, we can. How quickly we forget. Let's start the feed. Kevin Pereira, non-hologram. Yeah! Kevin Pereira, everybody! It is Monday, March 22nd. That was super awesome. Your top stories, my friends. Google has shut down its Chinese search site at google.cn. All Chinese Google searches are now being redirected to Google's Hong Kong-based servers. Now, this may give some users in mainland China access to content normally restricted by the Chinese government. The shutdown was in response to a widely reported cyber attack on Google in December, which, of course, we reported on this, targeted Chinese human rights activists. Now, Google's Chinese music search and maps, however, will remain active, and as of now, Google will keep all R&D and sales teams in China. Thank God! I don't know why I said that. Consumer Reports has just announced their picks for top vehicles of 2010 in 10 separate categories. This year's best car overall goes to the Lexus LS460L, which scored an impressive 99 out of 100 in the Consumer Reports test. Other winners include the Volkswagen GTI for sporty car, the Subaru Forester for small SUV, the Nissan Altima for family sedan, and despite Toyota's recent woes, The redesigned Prius has been voted best green car for the 7th straight year, boasting excellent crash testing and getting 44 miles per gallon, however, still not helping people get laid. Apparently, they also haven't taught anyone with the water hosio spell at the wizard schools. Friday night, the Hogwarts set used in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows caught fire during a special effects sequence, and presto explodo, went up in flames. Now, although initial reports were that Hogwarts had burned to the ground, it seems that only the school's courtyard suffered severe damage. The crew was filming a battle scene when the fire started, and it took firefighters 40 minutes to exterminate the flames. Now, none of the 100 crew members were injured, and none of the principal cast was on set at the time. Thank God, I love Ron Weasley. Oh, my favorite ginger. And finally, Disney is digging up a true swashbuckler's bounty for the upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean sequel, women with natural boobies. That's right, the movie studio has banned actresses with, quote, enhancements for the 4th film, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Apparently, women auditioning for the roles will be asked to undergo a soon-to-be-leaked to YouTube jug-jiggling test, as well as jog in place for judges. Now, apparently the presence of falsies was taking away from Disney's otherwise incredibly accurate depiction of pirate life. Right. That's right. Sure, Disney. That's all I got for you guys. I'm Blair Herter, and you have just been fed. Woo!
Thank you, Blair. Media giant Viacom has been accused of secretly uploading its content to YouTube while publicly criticizing the file-sharing site for hosting those stolen clips. We're going to dig into the mess right now. It's The Loop. Last week, court documents were released in the ongoing 3-year copyright battle between Viacom and YouTube. The documents support Viacom's claim that YouTube was essentially a bootlegging site that posted illegal content in an effort to boost traffic and sell YouTube to the highest bidder. Conversely, YouTube claims that while Viacom was protesting its content on the site, they were secretly uploading content they had roughed up to look leaked or stolen in an effort to promote their own shows. Who's right? Who's wrong? And how will this lawsuit affect the future of sharing music and videos on the internet? Quiet in the court! It's The Loop. All right, joining me from Los Angeles to help us make sense of it all, editor for TechMeme.com, Rich DeMuro is here. Hello, Rich. How are you?
Hey, Kevin. Doing great. Thanks.
Good. Viacom claims that YouTube turned a blind eye to copyrighted content on its site in order to boost its traffic before actually selling it off. First of all, did they do that? Because it seems that there's an email or two floating around that points to yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. They got a hold of some of those earlier emails. But, you know, they were doing what any video site that was just starting wanted to do under the law. Have people upload a bunch of stuff and, you know, sort it out. If someone said, hey, this is my video, they were going to take it down. And that's what they wanted to do in the early days. So, you know, Viacom is just kind of latching on to that.
But Rich, real quick, is that the case? Because it seemed that some of the emails pointed to, hey, look, we know we don't own these clips. They probably should be pulled from the site, but leave them up there. They're getting a bunch of views. If we take them down, we could lose like 60% of our traffic.
Yeah, I think that they did see that there was some content on there that was not definitely theirs, that was copyrighted. But to say that they didn't take down any of it, I don't think that's true. I mean, YouTube knew that they had to get this site growing, but they also knew that they couldn't have everything on there that was necessarily copyrighted or pirated or whatever you have it.
True. And did things change when Google bought YouTube? Because then there were much bigger players and much deeper pockets.
Absolutely. I mean, it brought money, it brought advertising, but it also brought their fingerprint technology. I think nowadays when you look at YouTube, I mean, they have a pretty good system for figuring out what's legit on the site, what's not legit on the site. You upload a video with some copyrighted music on it, immediately it's going to say, hey, can we replace this with something that's licensed from Universal or EMI? So nowadays I think they have their act together. But don't forget, this was a startup. These were guys that came up with an idea that wanted to do something, and they revolutionized video on the web. So you can't fault them for that. I mean, obviously they're going to have some stumbles here and there along the way.
True, true. And in fact, Google struck back with an accusation that while Viacom was complaining about its content being on YouTube, they were actually uploading their own unauthorized clips to YouTube to promote their own shows. Is there any proof of that?
Yeah, I think that's what the most interesting part of this case is that they're saying that, you know, Viacom employees were going to Kinko's and different places so they can upload these roughed up clips. I mean, there's one email I read where the guy from Viacom said, hey, we're thinking of adding time code to this clip so that it looks really unique and original and people will think they stumbled upon something really neat on YouTube. That right there, I think, really waters down Viacom's case because they saw the potential of having their videos on this site. And at the same time, 5 years later, they say, hey, this was not right.
Right.
That's kind of weird.
And if I'm a judge in this case, and I know that some judges still literally think the internet is a series of tubes, so maybe they don't understand how YouTube and file sharing and video sharing works. But if I'm a judge here and I see the evidence that Viacom was uploading clips and simultaneously complaining about clips being on the site, the case ends, right? Because there's no way to prove which clips were uploaded illegally and which clips were uploaded with their consent.
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, I think we're going to have to be worried if the judge asks to see like the videotapes in this case. We'll have to explain sort of how
right.
Digital video works. But I think not necessarily. I think that Viacom still does have a valid case if they can prove that there was a little malice here, that they weren't taking down videos that they had to, that this happened over and over. But at the same time, like I said, it gets kind of watered down when they say, hey, we were uploading things at the same time. How does YouTube? How are they supposed to know when they get a takedown notice for a Colbert clip when Viacom secretly uploaded it? It was their staff members. Did everyone know about this? Did only certain people? So I think it gets really cloudy here, and it's really tough to draw the lines.
You got to check for the time code. That's the only way to tell. It keeps it authentic. What's the fallout from this case, Rich? Let's say the judge rules in favor of Viacom. How does that change the internet as we know it?
It is going to be a chilling effect on the internet. I mean, if they rule for Viacom here, you're going to have people that are worried about starting sites. You're going to have these sites really tread carefully because they don't know what they can upload. You got to remember, YouTube these days, you can upload anything to there. You have news breaking out of places. You have people uploading video from their cameras of breaking news. I mean, it's really been an interesting take on the freedom that you have to upload anything to this site. That mixed with the fact that they've gotten pretty good with the copyright stuff, I think, is going to keep this site going. But at the same time, if they do rule in Viacom's favor, it's going to be a real chilling effect on the rest of the web. And it's a slap in the face of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, if you ask me.
As long as my keyboard cat is safe, there's a smile on my face, though. Thanks to Rich DeMiro from TechMeme for keeping us in the loop. I appreciate it, Rich. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, let's go over to Olivia.
If you guys are addicted to your BlackBerry, and who isn't? I guess unless you have an iPhone. Anyways, you don't need counseling. You need to attack these BlackBerry accessories. In case you didn't see, he was walking with a BlackBerry. Now you may already have a Bluetooth headset for your BlackBerry, but you'll want to consider upgrading to the HS500. This little earpiece has all the expected features, including one-touch calling and voice control, but it also works in tandem with the BlackBerry Maps software by whispering directions into your ear. Ooh. Well, it doesn't really whisper, but you get the point. Pick up this Uber headset for about $80. iPhone users all think they're so cool because they're watching movies and TV shows on their phone. They can go like this. Ooh, I do this, and I look at my pictures. Whatever. Pitch them, suckers! He just tripped. Anyway, BlackBerry users can do that too. Ha ha ha. With DVD Fabs DVD to mobile software. 1, you can do it. 2, it's a fun name. RimArchivable.com ran down the easiest way to use the software that converts your precious DVD collection into files viewable on most any BlackBerry, and it even manages to get around those pesky encryptions. Huh? How about that? Add movies to your Crackberry for about $45. And finally, having a bunch of movies on your BlackBerry is great and all, but I know what you're thinking. It probably won't be too comfortable to watch them with friends on a little 3-inch screen, so you may want to pick up the BlackBerry Presenter. This device allows you to output a video signal from your BlackBerry to an external device like a TV or a projector. It's probably meant for people to give, I don't know, like presentations and, business stuff, blah, blah, blah. But screw that! You got movies on your phone! Movies on your phone. The Presenter isn't out yet, but when it drops... Oh. Hey. You can expect to get yours for about $200. Head on over to G4TV.com/AOTS for info on all this BlackBerry stuff and more. Stay tuned. We have a wrestling superstar. His name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's going to be here to pile drive us with fun facts about his new movie Damage and wrestling.
The feed is brought to you by Cheetos. These winners are about to try a so-called super sit-up. What happens next? Does the guy in back fall off? Do they both fall backwards? Or does the garage door come crashing down? Find out when we return. winners are about to try a so-called super sit-up. What happens next? Does the guy in back fall off? Do they both fall backwards? Or does the garage door come crashing down? You guys know that they have weights for that sort of thing, right?
I don't know why I'm still surprised on this show. I really don't. But
Because every day you wake up with a little bit of hope.
yeah, and then this show just crushes it. It just boom. Hey, Blair Herter sat down with wrestling superstar and master thespian Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You shouldn't let him hear you call him a thespian.
All right, I've been waiting most of my career to say this right now, so I'm going to do it right. Stone Cold has never met an ass he did not kick. Right? Let's take a look at damage. There's only one way that we can begin this interview. You show me. We pop and pound? Is this how we're doing this?
Pop and pound.
Yeah.
Do this.
It's still going. It's still going.
Stone Cold was thirsty.
Are you okay?
I'm more of a kind of just embarrassed myself more than anything else. But
Don't be so hard on yourself. There's always time to learn.
where were you when I needed a father?
Gone on the road.
Stone Cold.
But I'm back.
You're back, sir. You are in a movie. You're acting. Look, I watched the movie. I got to tell you, there's some really kick-ass action scenes in there. Obviously, that's what you're known for. Listen, I actually like the acting more than the action. With all due respect, I don't.
No, I'm glad
cool
you
with that?
say that.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Okay.
As we saw my tender side in all those fight
Yeah,
scenes.
no, it's beautiful, beautiful.
It's fighting for camera is so much different than being in the ring. And a lot of people think that I would be just an expert in front of the camera, but it's different because in wrestling you really kind of make contact on the movie set. You're not supposed to. I did in this movie a few times with some noses, but I really
Stunt
like
people. What? Faceless drones. Faceless drones.
Tough day at the office, but I really enjoy the dialogue, and that's what I've really kind of set my sights on, trying to improve and be as best I can be. And now that I've done a few movies since Damage, I'm really kind of starting to get a sense of what it takes to prepare for a role and seeing what's not there on the page and
Right.
putting those moments and those beats in there. So it's a challenge, but this was a fun movie.
Right. And now you strike me as the type of man who hasn't been scared of anything ever. Like, even exiting the womb, you were like, I don't know what this bright light is and why it's so cold, but I'm not afraid of this. Like, but is it kind of like a challenge for you now? Kind of, because you're entering this whole new territory, because people expect you to be this kind of badass. You're there trying to emote. That's an acting term.
Yeah.
Right? You're basically trying to act, and this is something that you really haven't done before. Are you terrified going onto these sets?
You know, it's a process. And from the wrestling camera, everything pretty much was about 95% ad lib and free for all for me, and just kind of a give and take type thing with different talent, and particularly of Vince McMahon.
Right.
And, going to this, it's totally scripted, and the memorization process, and that's one of the things that I'm learning to do better. Just feel comfortable in my skin, relax, and be in the scene, and be totally focused. And in wrestling, you're listening to the crowd. You're doing things in the ring, and based on the response you get, you're going accordingly with the direction of the match. Right. You're not listening to anything other than the director say action, and then there you go.
Right.
And working with the people you're working with in the scene, so it can be scary at times, and I will admit that. That's one of the things I'm working on overcoming.
Right. And how hard is it to learn knowing that nobody's going to tell you if you do anything wrong?
I've run into that a few times.
Yeah. Like right now, for instance, if this was going poorly, I'd be like, this is the best interview I've ever had in my life. You were hysterical, sir.
I walked on a couple of sets, and you know, on WWE, on Monday Night Raw, when that show's over, we don't roll credits and say Stone Cold Steve Austin played by Steve Austin. So people think that's who and what you are.
Right.
And sometimes I've walked on a couple of sets, and the director's like, oh, well, should I just call you Stone Cold or Steve? I'm like, dude, just call me Steve. And you think I was walking around with a chainsaw and a machete? You know? But yeah, I want to be directed because that's the only way you learn, and I want to work with the best people that I can surround myself with.
Right. Well, here's a suggestion: maybe change your name to Stone Cuddly Steve Austin.
I thought about that.
It's a start. It's just a start. I'm just saying. All right, so let's talk a little bit about wrestling. Obviously, you are a huge star, somebody that has really defined, modern-day wrestling, sports entertainment. We've got WrestleMania coming up. I want to kind of pick your brain a little bit about some of the matches. I think the biggest one probably being the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels match. Undertaker, I think 17-0 in WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels is like, this is my entire career. Let's be honest, dudes have retired and come back plenty of times, but I'm going to assume that this time around is the real thing. You've wrestled these guys. You have a very intimate relationship.
Well, we're not going to talk too much about that.
You know them professionally and in a very non-physical manner.
Don't tell my secret now.
Yes.
I was going to come out next year.
He's stone cuddly. But you guys, you have a very professional relationship with these guys. You've wrestled them both. What are your thoughts? Who's going to take this one home?
Shawn Michaels is one of the most dynamic people I've ever seen in the ring. I've never seen him screw anything up. He tells some of the best stories. He's one of my favorites. Peerless. Undertaker, the first time I wrestled The Undertaker, I almost crapped my pants because it was such an overwhelming experience.
Right.
Watching that guy come to the ring, the lights went down, they started smoking the aisle, everybody threw their lighters up, and I'm sitting in the ring thinking, well, what am I going to do now?
Right. I just drink beer. This is so much cooler.
I don't see this. I don't see the streak being snapped. I see 18-0. That's me.
Oh, there it is right there.
That's me. Call me silly, but that's me.
Can we say that it's because Stone Cold says so?
Yes, you can.
Steve Austin, everybody! That's right. Thanks, Stone Cold Steve Austin, for joining us. Damage is out on DVD tomorrow. If you do not get it, he will come to your house and he will break your neck. Whoa. Whoa. Thanks, Blair.
Maybe he broke his vocal cords.
Just the thought. Just oof. It's time for another thing we found on the internet that was interesting. I just still don't get the timing.
So today's thing comes to us from 84 Films and features what can only be described as a very tough taco.
It's like a chalupa had a fever dream or something.
What? It was a wonderfully animated hipster fever dream.
True.
Still ahead, everybody. Dumpster diving gets a whole new meaning in our epic fail.
Learn how to recycle humans in just a minute.
Coming up tomorrow on an all-new AOTS, Jiu-Jitsu legend Eddie Bravo and Blair Butler will join us to break down UFC 111's 2 title fights on MMA Chokehold. Then Chris Gore reviews Ninja Assassin and Fantastic Mr. Fox on DV Tuesday. And Anna David is back for more Sex on the Streets. Apparently, the streets are insatiable. See it tomorrow.
Obesity.
We now join Sesame Straws are already in progress. Not that it matters. Nothing does. Otto, did you notice the print media is dying?
Yes, Monstrum. We're all dying, but print's just going first.
Before Esquire magazine descends into irrelevance, they are pitting a large bracket of attractive females against one another. Our former Sesame Straza guest, Olivia Munn, is competing, and I supported her.
Everyone should go vote for Olivia Munn at Esquire.com. I'm sure a round-robin contest pitting 64 women against each other based solely on their physical appearance won't lead to any hurt feelings.
It's ironic that a magazine would host a referendum on attractiveness on the internet. They hasten their own demise.
We're all our own worst enemies.
Today's Sesame Straza has been brought to you by the body part, boobies. We now return you to Attack of the Show.
I was out round 1 of the bracket.
Oh, really?
Round 1 I was out. B. Arthur.
Vote for the other girl. She's got bigger boobs.
Oh.
She deserves it. Big boobs, you win.
Can you change a vote when it's already...
Obesity is actually a big problem that has become rampant in this country, even amongst the homeless.
Yes. Lucky for all of you fat bums everywhere, we found a guy who's transformed dumpster diving into an exercise program.
It's time for today's epic fail.
Yeah.
Might I suggest that you put yourself on eBay before you just throw yourself out? Because you never know.
Yeah, you know what they always say? One man's trash is another man's man trash.
They don't. I don't think they ever say that.
Yes, they do.
No, not ever. You're the first person.
Well,
to
you
ever.
know what they do say?
What? No, I don't.
Suck it.
Many thanks to our guest, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Rich DeMuro. He doesn't pound beers, but he's from Tech Meme, so there you go.
Thanks for coming, everybody. An all-new episode of the International Sex Lady Show starts right now. Good night.
You know, if you were in another country, you'd be on the show.
Really?
'Cause you're a sexy lady.